Women of Power podcast is a platform for passionate and influential women who are catalysts for change, pioneers in their fields, the change makers, the trailblazers, performers and influencers, driven entrepreneurs and professionals. They play a vital role in driving economic growth and bridging the talent shortages across organizations of various scales. Building cause-based businesses to create positive impact in their communities and towards sustainable goals for the people, planet, and prosperity. In every industry, women are shattering barriers and strive to create a space where they can exhibit their achievements and motivate other women to unleash their limitless potential. We encourage collaboration, networking, and knowledge sharing among women. Let's inspire and learn from one another while sharing our valuable experiences. Thank you for joining us and listening to this episode. Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Another episode of Women of Power. Today, I have a pleasure to introduce a very interesting individual, and you are going to love the story that she has to share with us. And let me tell you what the Women of Power are. So, Women of Power podcast is a platform for passionate and influential women who are catalysts of change, pioneers in their field, the change makers, the trailblazers, performers and influencers, and driven entrepreneurs and professionals. They play a vital role in driving economic growth and bridging talent shortages across organizations of various scales, building cause-based businesses to create positive impact in their communities and towards sustainable goals for people, planet, and prosperity. So, without much delay, let's get to our guest today. My guest is Elif Köse. She is a formerly full-time fashion designer who once believed confidence stemmed from the perfect outfit. And her journey from a young woman with a broken English sitting in a bus from Turkey, and somewhere she landed up in Great Britain. But as she delved deeper into her personal growth, she uncovered more profound truth. Now she's on a mission to help people break free from the chains of their past, others' opinions, and need for external validation. She says that true worthiness comes from within. I would like to welcome my guest, Elif Köse. Elif,
Hi, Ritu. How are you today?
I am well. Tell us
Thanks for
about your
having
journey.
me.
You're so welcome. Tell me about your journey.
Well, we are all in our own journey, and it all has its own challenges and it's all ups and downs. And I certainly have one of those interesting ones from beginning till now. But my entrepreneurial journey has began in the UK, just like you explained. I
Mhm.
came here with broken English, well, almost none English, to be perfectly honest, and with just a dream to have a freedom and to just improve myself, to find myself, to learn English. And to be honest, I didn't actually have so much of a plan. I just wanted to have a life that was not suppressed by the society, by my family. I just felt like I was boxed in a box. So I came to the UK as an au pair. That was over 17 years ago. Feels like a lifetime. And here I am still.
This is amazing. And you were at the New York Fashion Show last week, and I have so many more questions to ask you. But the first one that I want to say, yeah, we do all have a journey. And you said that you didn't have a plan. as a young adults, we're sorting out ourselves. That's
Mhm.
like growing process, right? We don't have a plan. And sometimes, even when we are grown up, sometimes we feel revisiting our plans.
Well, it's great to have a plan. Right now, I have a plan, but it changes often.
Yes.
But back then, at the age of 21, I didn't really have much of a plan. I just didn't even know what I wanted for my life. And to be honest, up until 3, 4, 5 years ago, I still didn't know exactly what I wanted for my life. I think that level of uncertainty in your thoughts and wants and needs can actually lead to where you are standing at the moment you are. So, if anybody who's listening right now, in a crossroad and not knowing which directions they're going and where they don't know where they are, they don't know what they want, I think before anything, I'd tell them that just focus on you and inner child and just ask her, what does she want? What do you
Very,
want? What is it that makes you happy? What is it
very
that makes you
important.
feel belong? What is it that makes you feel that you're not forced into doing something? Because for me back then, I didn't have a plan, but at least I was happy. I wasn't forced into doing things that I didn't want to experience. I didn't like being in the environment. I didn't. So I knew what I didn't want. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yes. And that's important because we need to identify what we don't want, right?
Mm,
So stick to that's not going to work for me.
yeah,
And then look at is where I am, what my
yeah,
options are, my circumstances are, and how I can grow from here. So,
exactly.
as you said, find our inner child. So often we suppress that inner child
Mm.
because we want to be grown up.
Well, we've been always, from a very young age, we've always been expected to act older and grown up and
Yes,
always impress people. We would always try to impress our parents, impress our teachers, our friends, our husbands, our children. There's always these huge expectations of women. I mean, when you look, I'm a mother to a 5-year old, and as my son is growing up, I am growing up with him for sure. And I would always watch him and see like how he would look for validation if he would put the puzzle piece together and look at me to approve of him. And then I would see how much he's seeking for approval of his teacher at school to get another sticker. And that kind of gets ingrained in us in throughout our lifetime, and we constantly look for that validation,
yes,
exception. You are always looking for that external validation to feel worthy and to feel happy, to feel that you're doing good. You're almost waiting for someone to tell you that you are doing well, well done. You just
well,
constantly want that. And that's, I think that's is a big, big issue for us all.
yes, true. Us all, yes, that's very powerful because first of all, there's nothing wrong with growing up, right? We
No.
have to. It's nature, right? By physically, by our ears,
But you
and
don't always have to find the answers. You don't have to have the answer for everything.
as
You
a
don't
show up,
just like be
body.
fine with it. Be fine not
Yes,
knowing. Be fine for asking for help. Be
yes,
fine for not being strong. I mean, I have spent my last 17 years in the UK trying to fit in, trying to be strong, trying to
mhm,
win all the wars that nobody was aware of, that I was living in my head, in my mind, in my heart. So it's just like it's okay to just sit back. It's
and
okay to
now
lose sometimes.
now you are not only a renowned fashion designer, but also a confidence coach. And I want to get there. But let's talk about that journey you just mentioned about the wars that within that you have. So overcoming those battles are much more important than proving, oh, I am grown up and I know everything.
Mm.
We do grow up. By years, we are growing up. By knowledge, by wisdom, if we allow it to, we grow up. But there are challenges, the real life challenges.
It
Your
never will
story,
end. If you get one part away, there will be another challenge coming through.
there
It's
will
just all
be.
about how you deal with it. What do you want the end result to be? Do you want to live in misery? Or do you want to get on with it and have the life? It's all about choices that we make.
I just love the conversation. You say something and it triggers me to ask a different question. So that love misery, uh, and misery attracts misery. So how do
Mhm.
we disengage ourselves from misery? Where it's a real life. Even if you are living in a high rise in a metropolitan, it's okay, good looks, right? So your life must be wonderful. No, the inner battle, the weight that you're carrying to provide that lifestyle where
Mhm.
you are is a lot of stress.
Mhm.
So we're constantly carrying something with us. And I want to ask you another question about your journey. When you started, share whatever you feel comfortable with. That there are a lot of young men, young women these days growing up into nuclear families, growing up in single parent families, limited resources, or let's say resources for are not an issue. It's just the belongingness. We have handheld devices we can connect in seconds with the people who don't know us, but we have those virtual friends, so-called friends, that young people are often trying to find now. As you go back 17 years and you talk about journey, being on that bus, not willing to put up with something that you didn't feel right, the kind of struggles that they are changing for the young people. Would you like to share something?
What I would say, I mean, it's the whole conversation came from how, like, I started my journey here in the UK as
Mm-hmm,
an au pair to started my sewing business to become a fashion designer that is world renowned. But what I've noticed as a young girl myself back then, first, I didn't know what I wanted, but I had ingrained values and life principles that was taught to me by my parents.
mm-hmm,
And the first thing for me was being honest to myself. It was about, so it's honesty, and it was about working hard. It was about always being open to learning. And it was all about being happy and doing things that would give me happiness, not because I would fit in. So for young children now, what I see is that they are seeing what you see now, like on the screen and on my social media when you follow me. It's not what it is. It's a dream world. And the young kids are following each other to be inspiration, but not always aware of what they truly want themselves.
mm-hmm,
I see a lot of young women getting married to the people who are not even the right person for them. They're marrying, they're making a decision, yes, but the person they see is in the eyes of their society, in the eyes of their parents, in the eyes of their friends and family. It's not the eyes of their heart, the eyes of their own soul and desires. So the kids, the young people, the new graduates, if they are in a journey at the beginning, the first thing they really need to know, what do I want for me? Most people don't know, and that's why they don't have what they want, because they don't have clarity on exactly what they want. I'm
yes.
going to tell you a quick, very recent, like this
Go ahead.
morning.
Go
We
ahead.
had this experience this morning. So I was downstairs and I could hear my 5-year-old son
Mm-hmm,
ordering his father his snack for school. He said to his dad, "Dad, I want cheese and apple for snack. And can you put my apple in my blue lid container but peel it?" That's what he said. And he came to me and said later, about like half an hour later, to say, "Look, mommy, daddy got it right. He put my snack in my bag exactly how I wanted. And I said, yes, it's because of your leadership. You told him exactly what you wanted. You didn't expect him to guess what you wanted. You told him you wanted peeled apple in that blue lid container and cheese. That's what you get. It's the same thing in life. You tell exactly what you want and work on it, and that's what you get. It's a 5-year-old child's life lesson.
No, I always say that we don't teach children, children teach us,
Mm,
right?
that's
We
right.
learn from them. We may feel that we're teaching them how to talk, how to walk, how to eat, how
Mm,
to dress, but we're learning from them actually. We're learning bigger things that we're teaching them. We're teaching them little stuff, right?
mhm,
But we're learning that what it takes to be a parent. Once you're a parent for life, right?
mm,
So when they come in your life, they're lifelong lesson for you.
mhm. Well, so what I'm saying is, what doesn't matter what age you are, if you know exactly what you want and you speak for it, you work for it,
You
you
work
act
for
on
it.
it, you'll get it. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. So
So
like I
then,
wanted to have my freedom. I wanted to liberate myself from that suppressive lifestyle. I wanted to have my financial freedom because I noticed that having that would give me freedom of speech, freedom of being and existing. And I worked on it. And my only skill was sewing because I couldn't even speak properly. So the sewing didn't require as much skills in English. So
mm,
I knew what I wanted and I focused on my strengths and I
mhm.
worked on that. And slowly but surely I got to where I am. So the reason I share the struggles, the reason I share the problems I have and everybody is so that if you are going through this, it's not forever and everybody is facing them. Even
Yes.
the most successful people you see on the screen, they
Yes.
will always share they have been through some level of adversity or obstacle in their life.
And sometime a whole lot of them. And
Exactly.
this is very important to bring that where we are right now, there has been a long journey. And that's what makes us the people of strength. Human race itself is resilient. The way through the thousands of years of our histories, that how we have persevered, and what we see right now is in our lifetime is very strong in our memory, in our psyche. But the struggles of the past, you forget them. You don't live in the past, but the past is what made your present.
Exactly. You learn from that. We all got a past. We all have story. We all
Yes.
have some level of experience, but you don't live in the past. You
You don't
always
live
look
in the past.
forward. You
Yes.
don't allow it to define your future. You just live, use it as a leverage and step up. Don't
Yes.
live there. Don't empower the past. It's past what its namesake. It's in the
For its
past.
namesake. There is a lot that fast reminds you. And I find that I'm very fond of learning history in any opportunity I have to watch a show or learn from people and their struggles. So they're just not struggles, but trials and a triumph journey that the cultures have. That is a representation of who they are now,
Mhm.
which is very important to not just forget where you have come from. That's a history. So I want to switch conversation. And as a confidence coach, this is very important people to know why being confident is so vital for our success. And you say that you thought that confidence came from a perfect outfit. So, and as you say that, well, is this in our mind? And tell me a little bit about
Okay, so
mindset and mind shifts.
so the confidence has always been one of the biggest issues for me, especially for an immigrant living in the UK. And the
Mm.
first confidence issue I had to deal with was my level of English. I always thought I would never be able to explain myself at the level that the person opposite would understand what I'm saying, because it was just not the language barrier, it was also the cultural differences that was not translating. There would not be enough word in English to explain some of the feelings for me. So that was one of the confidence issues I face. And then again, fashion was my childhood dream, but I never actually thought I would become a fashion designer one day. But when you really want something so much, life has got its own plans, and the universe, God, whatever you believe in, listening, and it always opens up the opportunities for you to see them. Opportunities are always there for you, and you get to see them. So I spent my first 12, 13 years as an entrepreneur in the UK helping people to find confidence with clothes. Because I was a tailor and dressmaker, I used to make clothes and fit them, and I'd see women walking into a changing room with these loose fitting suit and coming out after I fitted it perfectly for him, suddenly looking taller and more confident. And I would see how much of an effect it had in one's mood. It has, I mean, everybody would agree that your outfit tells 1,000 words when you walk
Mm-hmm.
into a room. It's very important. It gives you pleasure, it gives you confidence. You know what you do, you dress up for your first date, you dress up for your interview for work opportunity, you dress up for friends meeting. So I noticed the confidence was um, very important when it comes to clothing, but then I would notice after talking to so many people, the dressmakers are a bit like hairdressers. You get to have conversations with your clients when you are doing the fittings. And I would see these incredible women in different industries, all like women in the board meetings and CEOs, and like real successful women I would admire, and I still do to this date. But they would always have these inner confidence issues that they would hate their legs or their bum or their bust or their arms. And it would all come down to that little conversation they overheard when they were little that would ingrain in themselves to make them feel terrible all their life, not want to wear a skirt because of somebody told them they have wonky legs, or somebody said they have got fat arms, or somebody might have called them skinny. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what shape they were. It didn't matter what color they were. It didn't matter what religion they came from. There was all these inner confidence issues. The clothing could only have a costume effect. And that's
Yes.
when I noticed, excuse me, that I got to work inside. And that was me. I was seeing myself in so many conversations, and I started to working on myself, and that's when I started to do the inner work, the inner confidence, because when it comes from inside out, you are unstoppable. There is nothing can stop you. And that was the power I've noticed, and I've seen the transformation that comes from women having this level of change. I just committed myself into this business, um, like sharing all my knowledge, my experience, my journey, helping women to have that transformation with me inside and out so we feel powerful.
Wow. I just love the way you explained and can't let it go. The costume confidence. Isn't
Mm,
that the truth? Right?
mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. When you are dressed nice, you feel good in your appearances. Yes, you feel great in your mood would be there
Changing,
will
yeah,
be
it will be
mood would
uplifted.
change.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you feel somewhere a little bit different because of that you like your appearances. But that's very well said. What you're carrying inside. I want to ask you another question. Is that the self doubt and let's talk about self doubt a little bit. When people say, in your case, you said I wanted to be a designer, but I didn't know if I will be or not, right? Is that something that you will call it self-doubt?
Yes, because I didn't know I had the enough skill set. Do you know, it took me a long time to call myself a fashion designer because I didn't have a degree in fashion. I
Mm,
have a degree in business, and that was the, that was it for me. But I had passion for fashion. I can make a dress, my eyes shut. I can make a pattern. I know fabric. I know stitch. I know everything about textile inside and out. But I was terrified to call myself a fashion designer because I thought somebody would come out and say, "You're not a fashion designer. You don't have a degree in fashion." I
yes.
thought that was like a forbidden word to say for me. I doubt myself because of that societal pressure that I had to have some level of fashion degree to be a fashion
A
designer.
proof.
Yeah, I was looking for approval. I was looking for acknowledgement. I was looking for
Yes.
proof. The
Yes.
proof.
So the proof is you were at the fashion show in New York City. And to be
Exactly.
right, so that's the proof. Okay, let's talk about how you felt. How you felt and being surrounded by a very different, being at a fashion show, not just
Mm.
as a designer, but then you have the models and others, and then young girls, and then showing off your designs, your creations, the feeling that you go through, um, uh, from your dream of many years and decades long and where you are. Tell me a little bit more of that journey.
Do you know, I think it might be because of the work I have been doing and the lessons that I have been learned over the years.
Hmm.
I felt totally calm. I felt I belonged there.
Wow.
And I just felt I'm here because I have it in me.
Yes.
I don't have these in my mind and in my heart. If it wasn't meant for me, I wouldn't even think about it. So I felt I was part of that. I always felt, I almost felt like I was late. I should
You
have
were
been
late.
there
Just,
before.
yes.
I should have trusted myself and believed in myself
It-
faster.
Um,
This is why the belief, self-belief is very important. So I felt like I'm proud of this girl.
the words that you are using, I really love the power of those words, and you were late to the party, but it was in you. Didn't feel any different that you didn't belong here. I love that, which says the sense of belongingness. And that's what I want our listeners to pay attention to this. We talked about self-doubt. We talked about, challenges. We all have challenges, right? That's how we learn to be where we have. To me, I always thought those challenges were my launch pads. They
Mm-hmm.
were always my launch pad. And so we have to get through that journey to be somewhere. And you talk about now belongingness, which is another one, a big question, from self doubt to being in a place of belongingness. People need to hear that and let
Mm-hmm.
go of, your um, uh, sense of, um, I want to say,
Honestly, just say,
ego.
stop saying
Ego.
I'm not enough. Just stop saying I don't know it. Just say, why not me? Why not me? Why her but not me?
What's needed? What's needed,
Exactly.
right? What do
There,
I need?
yeah,
What's not, what's
find
missing?
it. Well,
Find it.
find that. Don't
Mhm.
think about I'm not good enough. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't do this. Oh, honestly, just
Uh-huh.
shut up and get on with your life and trust you. Just
Uh,
trust that you have it all in you, all
okay.
along. You
Well,
don't need a savior.
so
You don't
so
need it.
in order to have that self confidence, what are the most common misconceptions people have about building confidence?
That they think they have to have all the answers.
Okay.
You think I know it all, I have it all. I don't have it all. I don't know it all. I have no idea so half of the time. But I believe in me.
Yes.
I
And you don't,
believe that
the
I can
knowledge
add
is
value.
vast.
Mm.
Knowledge is vast. We don't have all the answers. That's why Google and
Nobody
such
has.
there.
Nobody has. I mean, I'm sorry if anyone just claims that they have all the answers.
Uh,
Nobody has. I have answers for certain questions. I have
mm,
answers on my skill set. I have got gifts that I have been given. I am going to help you. Let's have a think of this way. You're teaching someone on high school and you're at university. If you're at high school, you're teaching someone in middle school. If you're in middle school, you're teaching someone in in first school. You're not, you're not competing with anyone. You just teach what you know. Trust your knowledge and continue learning, continue growing, continue building yourself up for you, not to prove to others, but know that you have enough in you to teach somebody. So stop taking another course, another certification, another program, and another diploma to
so
prove.
the learning is not necessarily in diploma or degrees. Learning comes in many ways, and nothing wrong with
Exactly.
diploma or degrees. You need that for some certain professional skill sets. Then uh, it is the knowledge that you gain from your self understanding
Mhm.
the doubts, under acknowledging your doubts. Nothing wrong with that. Acknowledging that, okay, and then going into a further inquiry, why do I doubt this? Why?
Yeah.
And what do I need to? And
Yeah.
especially for the work you do now,
You know what it is often like if you're feeling doubtful, it's probably you have recorded that when you were 6, 7-year-old little girl that you have overheard conversation. Let's say it was money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You've got to work so hard to earn money. Oh, you've grained that. So you think, oh, I can't earn so much money because I'm not working so hard. Because I'm not working so hard, I haven't got the money. So like this is all learned inner child
in a
issues
child.
that you're gonna fix. Not fix, you gotta acknowledge and bring awareness. We're none of us broken. We're just here to acknowledge our feelings and bring awareness to our decision making. And when you're aware of your emotions, you can control your decisions. And when you control your decisions, you can control your life.
We have a few minutes left, so I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
The work you do now as a confidence coach, I'm sure that every client has a very different journey they have been through and the journey it would take them to get there. So, given that, what would you tell them? What would you remind them? Well, forget it, what you cannot change. The past you cannot change. Where you are, how would you bring them back to from their past to the present?
The first thing you need to understand is like, can you go back to it? Okay, so what is happening in your body? Where are you feeling when you're feeling doubtful? Where's that doubt feel? Here? What's happening? What's happening? What's going to happen when it goes wrong? So what? So what? We're going to go through a little questionnaire together. So go to there and feel the emotions. Just feel it. Go through it.
Hmm.
Feel it. What is it? What
Yes.
is it that holding you back to not go through there? What is it that you are feeling? Let's say you've said those words that you wish you did. Like you had, let's say you're having these uh, cycles in your head for the past, something that happened in the past. Wish you had said that, wish you had said done this, but you didn't, and you're here still empowering it and not moving forward, and you're delaying and you're missing out so many opportunities. And let's face that moment. I've done this with all my clients, and it was a woman who has been through um, a a childhood full of sexual abuse, and she felt angry all her life. And and she has been through so many therapies and so many sessions, but it was just like she could never actually face that moment in her life to let it go. Letting go is the hardest thing for women, and that was for me to help her, to hold space for her to actually go to her there, sit with her, that girl, the 8-year-old girl and a 40-year-old woman, sit together and just talk through her,
Hmm.
and then walk through with her. I'm
Yes.
not saying forget your past. You're never going to forget it. But if you cannot change it, if you cannot change what's happened in the past, what can you learn from it? How can you forgive your abuser to move forward? Because
Yes.
it's only hurting you. The forgiveness is not because of them, it's because your heart deserves peace. Not
Yes.
because they deserve
Yes.
forgiveness, because you deserve peace. So it could be anything.
Personal growth is a long journey, and we need to
Mhm.
acknowledge that. And oh, last question. What would you say to someone who is considering working with a confidence coach? What do they need to know or
They
not know?
just, they don't, all they have to do is they have to trust their intuition. That person is going to take them to the next level. And having someone on your back who keeps you accountable, who is there to mentor you and hold your hand when you need the most. Because sometimes you don't really want to ask your best friend, because you don't want to ask your husband, because you don't want to ask your mom or sister. You just want to ask someone who is honestly going to hold your hand to take you to the level that you want. As long as you want, this coach is going to hold your hand. It's the best thing. Everybody needs a coach. I mean, I actually finished a blog post about this. It's going to come out tomorrow.
Mhm.
Why everyone needs a coach.
Oh, yes, we do. We do. Alif, this has been such a pleasure speaking with you. I wish you much success,
Thank
whatever
you.
you choose to, and I look forward to having you back on the show again and
I'd
continue
love
our
that.
conversation. And
Thank you,
thank you so
Ritu.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode. We hope that information our guest has shared is helpful and you are taking away valuable tips and knowledge. We are committed to supporting women and building cause driven businesses that create positive impact in their communities. Join us in the movement for change. Take action now and be part of Let's Come Together movement. Together, we can recognize, celebrate, and empower women who are making a difference in today's economy. Connect with passionate and powerful women, collaborate on cause driven businesses, and build a better future for our communities. Let's advance sustainable goals for the people, planet, and prosperity. Join the Let's Come Together movement, a private community today, and be catalyst for change in creating and raising conscious leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.